Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today we have another video by request. Roderick Williams asked if we could make keto Chinese bread. Now there are many different types of Chinese bread, but today we are going to make Hus Juan, I think I pronounced that right, also known as Chinese flour bread. And those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically a steamed bread roll that is meant to be designed and shaped to look like a flour, hence the name Chinese flour bread. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janetsdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will get to me and help support the channel. So, while you do all that, let's get cooking. In a large mixer bowl, combine 96 grams or around 3/4 cup of coconut flour, 1 gram or around a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 10 grams or around 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 4 grams or around 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. And if you want to, you can add some dry seasonings of your choice. I'm using around a 1/4 teaspoon of the dry Chinese 5-spice blend. Again, you can use what you want if you want and as much as you want. Sift or whisk these all together until they're fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 3 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they stir in more smooth. Stir the eggs into the dry ingredients until everything is fully combined and all the dry ingredients have been moistened by the eggs. Add 2 ounces or around a 1/4 cup of hot water. You do want it hot so you have a soft, smooth dough. Stir the hot water in until everything is fully combined and your dough is smooth, soft, and very lightly sticky. Form the dough into a smooth ball and massage the ball for about 1 minute. This will help absorb any extra moisture and it will also help the xanthan gum begin the process of making the dough stretchy. You do need this dough to have a little bit of stretch in it so that you can shape it. Once you've massaged it for a minute, form it back into a ball, place it back into your mixing bowl, and allow it to sit at room temperature uncovered for around 5 to 10 minutes so that it can continue to absorb any extra moisture and any amount of stickiness can be absorbed into the dough. While you're letting the dough sit for a little bit, fill a large saucepan with some water about 1/3 way up of the saucepan. You don't want to fill it all the way full. Place it over medium heat and bring the water to a full boil. And yes, I am using the Michelangelo large saucepan that I showed you in the review. If you want to check the review out, I will put a link in the description for that. Line a clean work surface with parchment paper. Then roll or press the dough into a rectangle that's around a 1/4 inch thick, depending on how thick you want your rolls to be. Make sure if you are pressing the dough out, if it starts sticking to your fingers or anything, just lightly dampen your fingers. And if you are rolling it out, make sure you put another piece of parchment paper over the top of the dough before you start rolling or it will stick to your rolling pin. Also, while you're rolling and pressing, make sure the dough stays smooth. You don't want any cracks in it. If it has cracks in it, when you go to bake your rolls, you will have cracks in your rolls and they can fall apart on you. So if you do see any cracks, just lightly moisten your fingers and rub the cracks out. Once the dough has been rolled into a rectangle, brush the dough with anywhere from 15 to 30 milliliters of the oil of your choice. That's roughly around 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. I'm using grapeseed oil. You can use whatever oil you want. Just make sure that you use enough to just put a light layer of oil over the entire rectangle. You don't want to saturate it, but you do want enough oil to cover the entire top part of the rectangle. Then scatter your desired amount of finely chopped green onions over the oil. Make sure they are finely chopped so that they roll up in the rolls easily. You can put however much you want. I just like a light scatter. I don't like a whole lot of scallions in it. The less scallions that are in it, the easier it is to roll. Then start at the long, widest end of your dough and roll the dough up tightly, kind of like you're rolling up if you were to make cinnamon rolls. So the end, once you're done rolling up the dough, is going to have a little bit of a spiral shape at the end. You can use the parchment paper to kind of steady the dough and makes it easier to roll the dough up. And make sure that your rolls stay tight. If they do not stay tight, you'll have gaps in your rolls, which won't affect the taste, but it won't really look like a flower shape like it's supposed to. And technically, you can shape these rolls into any shape that you want. So if you have a different way of rolling them that makes a more flowery shape, that is up to you. You can go ahead and do that. Once your dough is rolled, dampen your fingers slightly and rub your fingers across the seam of the dough to seal up the seam. Make sure that every crack is sealed. Then cut the roll into 12 to 16 portions or into your desired size. These do expand just barely when you cook them. They don't expand a whole lot, but they do expand a little bit. Check on the water in your pot. Make sure it has come to a boil. Then place a steamer basket on top of the water. And again, I am using the Michelangelo steamer basket. Make sure that your steamer basket is not touching the water at all. You do not want your steamer basket wet. Also, I like to line the inside of my steamer basket with parchment paper just because I want to make sure that my rolls are not going to push through the holes at all, and then I have an indentation of holes in the bottom of the rolls. So I line it with parchment paper, and I just use a metal skewer and poke some little holes all the way through the parchment paper so that the steam can still vent through the parchment paper a little bit. Now, if you don't have a stovetop steamer, then I'll put a link to my article on how to make your own DIY steamer basket. It's very easy. Place the rolls inside your steamer basket in a single layer with a little bit of space around them. You don't want them crammed tight. You want to make sure that there is a little bit of space. Like I said, these do expand very, very slightly. And in order for you to get a good even cook, you do want space around them. Place a lid on your steamer basket and cook the rolls for 25 to 30 minutes or until the buns are no longer wet. They should not have a doughy feel when you touch them. Once they're done cooking, uncover the steamer basket, remove the steamer basket from the heat, and let the rolls rest in the basket for around 3 to 5 minutes so they can firm up just slightly and so that you do not burn your fingers when you try to lift them out. When they've cooled and firmed up just a little bit, remove them from the steamer basket, serve them warm. These ideally are meant to be used as a rice substitute with any type of a saucy Chinese dish, like such as sweet and sour chicken or sweet and sour pork or orange chicken, anything that has a sauce to it. They're not really designed to be eaten by themselves. They can be, but their main design is kind of to be used for a rice substitute. Now, just a heads up, steamed bread does not have the same taste or texture as baked bread. So if you're looking for something to have the same consistency as, say, my dinner rolls, light, fluffy, a little crusty around the edges, you're not going to get that with steamed bread. If you do have any leftovers, allow them to cool completely. Store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 3 days. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.